Are you awake?
Are
you ready to go?
Oh, man.
Hey, Mike Higdon, used car manager at Bob Hook Chevrolet, and this is Jake.
Hi, guys.
Did you just pour your coffee all over
yourself?
yourself?
My coffee.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you know what? What's something I was thinking about just a second ago, though, when I came in?
What's that?
It's so awesome to come to work and enjoy where you work.
Absolutely.
I mean, that was I was here, and I was, like, happy to be here. It's good, ready to get the day started. So hopefully that transfers to our customers. I'm sure it does.
Absolutely.
Don't you think?
Can we get them to come in early?
Yeah, if they'd come in and make the popcorn and the coffee, that would be awesome. So today, something that, especially as a used car manager, one thing that every customer, it seems like, even as much as the price, one thing every customer wants to ask about is the CarFax. Can you say that? CarFax.
CarFax.
Right? The CarFax. So, but this really is a good tool for especially.
Absolutely.
I think it's as important to us buying a car or trading for a car as it is for the consumer. So we just kind of want to break down a few things on here. We picked one actually. What does that say?
It says accident reported.
This one actually has.
And damage reported.
Yes. And Jake, what are the three? There's three different categories that CarFax actually breaks the accident.
So you're going to have minor, moderate, and severe on the CarFax. And that's going to distinguish what type of impact was also done on that vehicle. It's going to show what side of the vehicle was hit on and or front or rear.
That's new, actually,
Yes.
for them.
Yes.
Now they actually have a picture of the car. I don't know if this one has it, because if it doesn't,
This
yeah.
one does.
So see, this one actually shows like some type of accident reported, but it actually has a little picture of the car right there, and it'll be highlighted in blue, I think is what they do, and
Yeah.
it kind of shows you where the car was impacted. So luckily in Kentucky, if there's an accident, most of them will show. Some states try to require you to pay extra money to get the police report, but
Yeah.
Kentucky does report all that. So obviously you said minor, so that could be anything from what, like somebody getting bumped into sitting at a red light?
Yeah, it could even be at a Kroger parking lot. You know, they could have gotten smashed by a cart.
Yes,
Yeah.
minor.
Minor.
But minor is
Yeah.
okay, really. Minor means it was driven away. It's just like a little bump or a bruise, right? Like on it.
But that shows that they reported that.
Yes.
They reported that to their insurance, and then their insurance reports that to the CarFax.
Yeah, so the next one would be moderate.
Mm-hmm.
Minor, obviously, they drove the car away, everything was cool. Moderate is a little different. Moderate, they're saying that the car did not drive away from the accident, it was
Correct.
possibly towed.
Correct.
But there are several reasons they let that happen. Do you know the reasons?
I actually don't.
You don't?
No.
Well, it could be anything. Like, for one, if a glass was broken, and if there's broken glass, they're not going to let you leave in the car. That's just, I guess it's state law. You have to have glass in your car. They like
Makes
to have
sense.
glass. Maybe a tire went down and was busted, or a rim was bent, or the wheel was bent. It could
Yeah.
be something small like that. But for any reason, they feel like it's not safe for you to take off. Could have just maybe bumped into somebody and knocked your headlight out, and you have no headlight or turn signal.
Safety
And
reasons.
Safety reasons, they're
Okay.
not going to let you drive the car off. So that's kind of what moderate is. It could go a little bit beyond that, but the scary one is severe. Moderate to, then sometimes they'll rate it like moderate to severe.
Right.
And unfortunately, too, sometimes they make errors, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've had, we've seen that where people, like it's maybe accidentally the officer in the report said that it was towed, and we've actually had people get really upset with us because they said their car was never towed.
That makes sense.
And they get mad.
Yeah. And the good
They get
part
mad at us, though.
No.
They get mad at you.
Absolutely. The good thing about this one specifically, I traded for this vehicle. I know this customer that gave us this vehicle. If you have any direct questions about this specific vehicle, feel free to come and ask me. I'd be glad to answer those for you.
So the other part of something you look at CarFax, obviously, it will tell you how many owners the vehicle's had. This one happens to be a one owner. Another really good thing, and it's pretty amazing, we were talking to our CarFax rep, and as far as people downloading the CarFax app, which is very helpful to the customer because it helps show the service history, we're like actually I can say this because he told me we're like number one in this area for having people download the app for CarFax.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so a lot of our service customers, we have a giant CarFax thing back in our service department where it tells you how to download the app, so every time it'll actually send you some reminders and stuff. But mainly it just makes sure you record the history. So when you come to trade your car, if we're buying a car, right, we can look at that and go through that with the customer and show them all the service records that were done and everything that was done to the car. Now that's all the way down to like, some places even reporting they wash your car.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, they'll say
absolutely.
like wash and vacuum and definitely oil changes and things like that. So you get a good glimpse of the service history of the car. It also tells you what type of owner the vehicle was, right?
Yeah.
So what kind of owners are there besides humans?
So, yeah.
What type of humans are there that own these cars?
Okay, so you would have something like a personal vehicle, like we have on this CarFax right here. You could have a personal lease. You could have a corporate lease. You could have a corporate vehicle. And I think there's some other ones.
Rental actually shows up. So if you're buying a rental car, you would actually know that. Which that's still always funny to me. Some people are funny about rental cars. We don't keep a lot of them, but we do keep a few because there's nothing wrong with them. They usually get turned in, and they usually have records of accidents and stuff like that also. Now, something that's been coming up a lot too on the CarFax, besides showing the accidents, the owners, and service records, there's this new thing that keeps popping up, and it actually shouldn't scare you too bad, but that is the, I'll get it out. It's coming.
Come on.
It's coming.
Come on.
It's coming.
That's
It's coming.
you.
What are the actual mileage inconsistency?
Yes, mileage and consistency. And we came across one, I feel like, not too long ago.
Come across them all the time.
Well, I know, but I feel like there was one fairly recently, and
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact details of it. But
It wasn't this morning because we haven't had enough coffee yet.
No,
It wasn't
absolutely not.
this morning. But it was. A lot of times, and basically what that means, you just have to kind of study it yourself because it actually lists all the miles and everything. But you just need to do your own homework, and a lot of 99% of the time, actually probably 100% of the time, that is going to be human error. You go somewhere and you get your oil changed, and you got some dude that just doesn't pay attention, and he enters your miles at 20,000 miles and your car's got 40. It doesn't mean that the title itself is going to be that, but on CarFax is going to pick that up and say, hey, wait a minute, this car had 40,000 miles, got his oil changed 6 months later, and it's got 20. So it's just saying that there is an inconsistency in the mileage, but it doesn't mean that that's actually fact. They're just saying maybe you should do a little homework and research
absolutely.
So.
And you know, my dad has his own car lot as well, and he's been doing it for a really, really long time. He doesn't use CarFax, as a matter of fact. He uses AutoCheck.
AutoCheck,
Yeah.
yes.
And something to think about, and you would probably you would know something about this back 30, 40 years ago when you had
Why
a
would you say
different
that?
type- Well,
40 years ago, I was 10. I was
you were
only
10. That's
yeah.
true. However, but think about this. They had different types of gauges. When people were thinking about mileage inconsistency back 20 or 30 or even 40 years ago,
They could roll them
they
back.
could roll them back.
Right.
Now you can't roll these things back. You can only input them incorrectly.
Right, because I
And
think the
that's what it
computer,
shows.
I might be wrong, we'd have to ask Brian, our service manager, that, but I think the computer stores that information now.
Right.
It's stored in there, the actual miles. So yeah, you can't like drive it backwards from here to my house and get 50 less miles.
I think people still have that concern though.
They do think that.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anybody riding backwards down the expressway though?
Hilarious.
Not good. They can't do that. So, but some things, don't let the CarFax scare you too bad. Obviously, if it's moderate to severe. Also, it would tell you if it has a rebuilt or rebuilt salvage title. Differences in that is obviously with a salvage title, technically and legally, I don't believe those cars can be sold. That means it was in a severe accident and it's probably not safe for the road. Maybe frame damage, maybe it was sawed in half, whatever, and welded back together. But if it does have a salvage rebuilt title, the rebuilt part requires a state inspection. So those cars actually they say that they're safe for the road. It may pull a little bit or something, act weird, but it has been inspected. At least it's safe. So never buy a car with a salvage title, but a rebuilt title does mean at least it has been safe. And sometimes you can save a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, if you just want a really good deal on a car and you're just looking for something to drive and you're going to drive it forever, it doesn't really matter, right?
Absolutely.
And you're going to get a bargain on it. The other thing I'd pay attention to me, and I don't know, you can chime in here if you think it's important, but one thing I like to look at if somebody's trading a car especially, and it shows an accident, I like to look at the time when the accident happened. Like what I'm saying is like if it happened 5 years ago and the people kept the car for 5 years, well, obviously whatever it was, they felt like it was repaired properly and it didn't scare them. But how would you feel if you looked on here and somebody had an accident 2 months ago and they came in to trade it?
Well, I mean, it would make me feel a little weird. However, I will tell you this. I mean, knowing from the previous owner, that helps out a ton. And
some people just freak out, right? They're
That's right.
Scared.
That's right.
It's been wrecked. I don't want to ever drive it again. It's not.
But I mean, think about this. Think about how many times we've been asked if we could talk to the previous owner.
Yes.
If the customer could talk to the previous owner. And then from there, you know, we have to call them, make sure that it's okay with our customer. that they actually be contacted. And then sometimes they hash out all the other details between them, knowing what exactly happened. Now, there are instances where you might have, let's say, a 3-owner vehicle, and there was an accident with the second owner. Now, the third owner who's trading in that vehicle may have not actually known what.
Right, because everybody doesn't
was.
give. We offer a free Carfax to every customer.
Correct.
We actually encourage you to take a look at the Carfax.
Please,
Because we're proud of it. And we don't, like I said, this is one of our cars that does show a minor accident. We don't really dictate what we trade for.
Yeah.
But if we don't feel like it's a good, safe car, we're not probably going to put it out there.
Right.
But we do keep some of that stuff for people. So that's just some tips on the Carfax. I know for a lot of people, this seems to be, if not as important, almost equally as important as the price of the vehicle. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like everybody comes in, show me the Carfax, right?
Yeah.
Carfax.
It's kind of crazy to think about how they've dominated the market in terms of the history of the vehicle.
Yeah,
like
it's
you know,
crazy.
we just mentioned AutoCheck just briefly, but
Nobody knows.
no one
Right.
really knows who AutoCheck is.
Yeah.
But they know what Carfax is.
Yes.
I mean, whether or not they've seen it on commercials or they've actually utilized this tool in their buying experience.
Yes.
So it's pretty neat.
So it's awesome. So anyway, we hope this is helpful. We will try to bring you some tips. Not every day, but a lot of days, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can get together, hook up here and have some coffee.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Maybe like a Monday or a Friday. So.
But anyway, hey, appreciate it. Bob Hook Chevrolet, come in and actually, if you're going to buy a car somewhere else, or if you have a car that you bought somewhere else and you're just curious about the history, come by and we will actually provide you with a free Carfax on that car. We can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think
we're on
that's awesome.
unlimited, dude. We can pull as many as we want. We don't get charged
Wow.
extra.
Yeah, that's
So,
pretty cool.
Don't pay for the $25, $30 for a Carfax. Come see us at Bob Hook Chevrolet and we'll give you a free one.
Free one.
Free.
Make sure to hit that cool little button.
Yes, watch. Bye.
See ya. That was good. That was fucking long.